you prepare as thoroughly as you can. The guys play their asses off.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
Listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
That you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. If they are who we thought they were, when we let them off the hook.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Gather around, Skull brothers and sisters. This is Skull Rants, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Skull World. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment. If you're subscribed, you leave a comment, you'll be entered to win the Justin Jefferson autographed jersey when I reach 3,000 subscribers. Let's go, let's go. Hey, it was a big win yesterday for the Vikings. And when I say big win, I mean, we won the first game, but the confidence wasn't there. The first half, the confidence is definitely stayed with us the whole game. And I'm going to be talking about who I thought did good. We're going to record a show tonight, me and Skull Doc. He'll get a chance to talk about that, and I'll post that on Monday. So stay tuned for that Monday morning. Skull Doc will post his thoughts on the game. I'm going to run down what I think, how things happened. I want to, the thumbnail, I have Lewis Cine making a name for himself, and what a great breakout game for him, even though it's preseason. I got in a little bit of argument with Catch 84, not back and forth with Catch 84 last night, live on air. And I was like, well, it was going against the 2s and 3s, so a big deal. But then we say how great someone else did, and they went against the 2s and 3s. So, hey, if you're standing out against NFL players or NFL caliber players, you're standing out. If you're the big fish in the pond, you're standing out. Okay, he stood out in that game against all the other players on the field. And that's why I say Lewis Cine finally have an opportunity to play a whole game, no injuries. He's completely healthy. His mind's right. He's 2 years removed from the injury, and he flew around that field. And he showed it the previous game on special teams. This time he showed it in both phases of the game that he's a part of, defense and special teams. He's all over the field. I think he had 11 tackles. And I was actually trying to pull that up, what we had as far as stats in that game. But let me do that. Okay. Now, so Lewis Cine, we all know we traded down 32, gave up, got basically, uh, we didn't get enough of a haul for trading down. We thought we'd be much more of a haul. The guy we could have took at 12 was, basically a future Hall of Famer. It looks like at this point for Baltimore Ravens, but the Vikings, they got, they got Lewis Cine, and it wasn't a very exciting time for us. But we thought, hey, we heard him saying stacking bodies. We started to warm up to him, and he breaks his leg in London, and then he hasn't done anything since. And it's really difficult, to root for the guy because of no success. But me, I root for everybody. If you're a Viking, I want you to do good. I know people are still going, hey, great, we can trade him now. Sure, we could, but that game gave us a glimmer of hope. I think Kevin O'Connell said something. He looked comfortable for, he was happy they looked comfortable. I think the team is rooting for him. I think the fans are rooting for him at the game. I saw him run over the stands, those gloves in the stand. They were happy. They were excited for him. I am too. I know it's preseason, but it felt good. It felt really good to see Lewis Cine do good again. He's a good, young man. He played really good, for national champion in Georgia. He was the MVP of that game. for the defense. I mean, there's so many. It could have been such a good story. Then he breaks his leg, and then he's had some setbacks and stuff like that. But hey, he finally got to start the whole and play a whole game, and he looked great, best player in the field. And I often say when he's on the field, he may be the fastest guy on the field. He may be the fastest guy on the field, and he finally like it. He got that sack, and he got the hit on the quarterback, even though it was there was a penalty on the play. I think defensive holding, but he he finally laid the wood. He finally stacked bodies, and we could see what he could do. Now he's not going to be this big a hitter as we kind of hoped he would have been, but he did at least some hits in that game. And I think if he plays solid again, I think he's won a job on the Vikings, especially with a guy like Najee Thompson out. Special teams is needed. Lewis Cine plays a position. He plays good special teams, and he might play his way into some, up the depth chart after that game. So, I don't want to get too excited about Lewis Cine, but hey, it was pretty good. Now, just looking at some things, Sam Darnold didn't play. I guess he's solid at the starter, obviously. So that's why I didn't play. Nick Mullins got a lot of playing time. What now? Nick Mullins can run the offense. Now, where two things that happen with him is he takes chances. I don't know if he didn't see that out route in the red zone. The guy stepping in front of him, or is in a receiver, or he doesn't have the arm strength. He just threw it in a bad location. He either threw it a little deeper to him. I mean, that happened the previous week to our rookie, where he just made a bad throw, and I think that was the case. And he doesn't nearly have this arm strength as number 9. He doesn't have the arm strength of former number 8. But if he had an arm, he'd be a really solid quarterback, I think. But he played well, and I'm happy to have him as our backup. But the guy that stood out in that game is Jaron Hall. He completely reversed the narrative of last week, where I had people on a show telling me that he doesn't deserve to be out on the field. Like, and I had said just from that he'd be a pretty good backup in this league. I think he'll have a decent career in this league, and he may have saved his career in that game. Now, keep in mind he struggled a little bit last week with with guys. Who knows if they ran the wrong route or whatever, but he brought us within field goal range, and we won the game because he was able to do that. Now this week he caps it off by playing pretty freaking well, and the difference when you put them side by side, Jaron Hall is so much more mobile than Nick Mullins. Now, Nick Mullins ran a little bit in college, but he is not a runner at all. He's slightly mobile, but yeah, you're not going to see this guy running for too many first downs. Jaron Hall, he has athletic ability. He has real good athletic ability and a decent arm. I think better than Mullins. That was a pretty good. Opened my eyes a little bit, and that throw on the run. It's you know, Nick Mullins couldn't hit his throw on the run, but Jaron Hall did. So look good, man. It looked good, and I hate throwing guys under the bus. I don't I don't crap on players. Maybe tease Sam Darnold a little bit, but because I didn't think we should have got him, I don't think we should have spent the money. I might be proven wrong, and I'm gonna be happy to be proven wrong. But I'm not going to crap on Lewis Cine. He had an injury early in his career. I'm not going to crap on Jaron Hall. He got a concussion, ruined his season. He tried to come back, and he wasn't the same player. He struggled the first game. He stepped up the second game. Both those guys are two of the stories of this preseason game, and they look both pretty good. Now, Matt Corral, yeah, it's a no-win situation coming in like that. I actually had a lot high hopes for Matt Corral coming out of college. I thought he'd have been a decent starter in this league. I thought he was pro ready out of that group. It was a very weak group. I thought Matt Corral was the more pro ready guy. But you know, we'll see him next preseason game with a lot more practice and a lot more time in the game. Because I don't think Nick Mullins will play, if at all, maybe one one, and they'll split it up between Corral and Jaron Hall. Now, then the one of the great things about this last game is our running game. Our run defense was, pretty stellar, but I'm talking about the offense. The running game, when you got Kenny Nwangu looking like a real running back, like he made some cuts. He hits the hole. He's great on off tackle plays. He got the speed to break away. He's a decent sized back. I mean, he looked like a pretty good, pretty serviceable running back out there. And then another guy, Miles Gaskins, he's shifty. He's not Barry Sanders out there, but he cuts, and he's saved a few plays and fell forward, and instead of getting tackled behind the behind the yard of scrimmage, he went forward about 4 yards on one play. There were signs of this guy is a very serviceable running back. Both these guys. Now, mind you, Kenny Nwanga is more explosive. Miles Gaskins just looks like short area quickness, and he's falling forward, getting first downs. That was a great performance. Dwayne McBride, he actually looked all right. I mean, he looked all right. So I know School Doc doesn't feel the same way. We'll hear about what he thinks tomorrow. I think maybe he lost the job because Gaskins is good. I think maybe that's what he's going to talk about. We'll find out. Now, wide receiver, Jalen Naylor and Tristan Jackson are the standouts. We got a solid receiving core. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Jalen Naylor, Tristan Jackson, and your fifth is Brandon Powell and Trent Sherfield. There was another guy, Jones. I don't even see him on the depth chart that Jaron Hall threw a 70-yard touchdown to. So let's go. This is a pretty damn good receiving core. This is a good room. This is a solid room. Top end heavy, but solid throughout. I'm liking it. And Tristan Jackson's finally showing out. I talked about in college, and after watching his college tape, senior year, he looked like the best guy in the field when he was playing at Syracuse, and I thought he could get to the number 3 slot on a receiver, that he was an NFL receiver. He would have a career in the league. And luckily, he got hurt his first year, so we could stash him. He may have been put on the practice squad regardless, but it definitely may have helped him, because now he's still on the team and looks like he's going to make the 53 coming out of camp. I would be surprised if he didn't make it out of camp. That would be absolutely crazy. Now, the tight end situation, I think N'Keal Harry got hit early in the game. It might be a struggle for him to make this team. I always had high hopes for him because we just missed that receiver with that size that he has. But still feel good about the tight end position. There wasn't really a whole lot out there for me to to go crazy over, but I like that group. Offensive line. Now, I think our offensive line's good, except a one hole, Ed Ingram. He continues to have 2 or 3 splash of bad plays in a game, and one was just a brutal sack of Nick Mullins, because he doesn't know how to read a stunt. He continues to block, 2-man block, the 5 technique, and he misses a stunt coming around the end for the 3 technique, and he misses the stunt coming out of the end, the 5 technique. They just basically switch, and he always missing that guy coming around. I just can't stand it. That's his biggest thing, is he does not see that guy ever. Doesn't even lay a finger on him. And they've got a free reign coming in. He does that continuously, and his back is to the guy. Back, just doesn't even see him. It drives me nuts. And if anybody lost in that game, it's Ed Ingram. Second team offensive line wasn't all that great either. But make the decision on the Ed Ingram. I still want to give, I think he'll have a career in this league, but God, he's going to get a quarterback killed, man. He's going to get a quarterback killed, and we have Dalton Reisner playing backup to that position. maybe we need to make a switch, even though he's only played left guard in his NFL career. We'll see though. Um, I do feel good about our. I feel pretty confident our offensive line will gel together. But if that, Ed Ingram might get our quarterback killed. Outside linebacker, obviously, just put bubble wrap around Greener, Cashman, and Van Ginkel. The rest, before the season starts, Harrison Phillips too. A lot of these other guys. Now, I did see Jaquelin Roy make a play he didn't get credit for early in the game, but I don't think he has a stat line. There's a lot to talk about Bo Richter. People are referring him, comparing him to some really good players out there. He looks like a stud. He didn't have a huge stat line, but got another sack. We're gonna we are gonna be this. He might end up being my favorite player, just because undrafted free agent coming from a service academy. Don't expect him, and he balls out. This guy may end up being my favorite player. He may do it. And I didn't even notice too well because I'm watching my phone the first game, and I was really paying attention to the offense. And I always look at the defensive, I was really trying to more pay attention to the defensive backfield and really kind of missed how great a game Bo Richter had that first game. But he's standing out. Brian Asamoah had a really impactful sack, almost a safety. Uh, he had a big miss the week before. So it's nice to see that. Lewis Cine sack, same deal. He made that tackle. Uh, it's a real big fight in the cornerback position, but the guy that stood out the most, obviously, was Dwight McGlothern. This guy may get on the roster. Fourth, fifth, cornerback. It's a tough. I mean, everybody's kind of even, but you got Shaq Griffin, Byron Murphy. I think they're going to have Evans, start. Then or Evans in there. And then you got a mixed bag, but guys that kind of popped out at me at the end of the game were a guy that popped out at me at the end of the game was A.G. Green the third. He had a couple really back-to-back tight on the hip plays. Not giving up a catch. I really liked it. The safety position, just back to Lewis Cine. Bobby McCain had a pass interference penalty at the in the goal or in the end zone. So that got him down to the one. You got to think Harrison Smith, Cameron Bynum, Josh Metellus, Theo Jackson are safe. Then you got Lewis Cine, Jay Ward, Bobby McCain. I'm going with Cine on that one. And he may pass up Theo Jackson, just given more opportunity. Uh, when you show out in a game, you're gonna get time, and thank goodness for preseason for some of these guys. If you show out one of those games, they're gonna get more reps in practice with the, instead of with the threes, the twos. And if he shows out against this first team, more often, he's gonna start getting looks. He looked like he could play, man. He looked like he could play. I'm excited that he's going to turn his career around. We still got 2 years to evaluate him. We probably wouldn't extend him. He probably doesn't get a whole lot of playing time. We probably can re-sign him for cheap money. And then he balls out. Then he balls out just like a Cameron Bynum may do, just like a Josh Metellus did, or well, Cameron Bynum did, just like a Josh Metellus did, and we got him for pretty decent prices. That's the same thing can happen with Lewis Cine, late bloomers that balled out and got paydays. Now, some disappointments so far this year. Andre Carter the second, I think we'll stash him. Guys that popped out obviously is Drake this preseason so far. I know we really like Gabriel Murphy. Owen Porter showed out that first game. I didn't notice him too much this last game, but Levi Drake Rodriguez or at all. Maybe I didn't even play. I don't know, but Levi Drake Rodriguez obviously shown out that first game. Guys, let's see who else, but obviously Bo Richter. But you got a Bo Richter, you got a Gabriel Murphy, you got a Levi Rodriguez, seventh overall picks. a McLaughlin, and then the 3 free agents. That's insane. Hitting on that many players that late in the draft and into undrafted free agency. I really like that the Vikings are starting to be crossing the line where they recognize talent and they play them and they put them on the team, even though the positions they have in the draft are not that great. They get the opportunity. Adam Thielen had to wait what 4 years to get to play. Now we're seeing guys get opportunities on this team. Ivan Pace Jr. was recognized early in camp and became a starter. You're going to get the same thing with Levi Rodriguez. You're going to get the same thing with a Bo Richter, a Dwight McLaughlin. These guys got opportunities and players ahead of them that are maybe veterans, but hey, they're showing their athletic ability. They can win these jobs. So, hey, that's my thoughts. It was a great win. We dominated the whole game. I felt like I don't think I've ever felt like the game was out of hand for us. Shout out to Jaron Hall. Shout out to Lewisine. Probably the 2 big winners in this game. Honorable mention would be McLaughlin, Kenny Nwangu. Oh, yeah. And, hey, we got a kicker, guys. I feel so confident with Will Reichard. And it may look like Ryan Wright might be winning this job as punter. Good for him. I'd be like you were your rookie year, man. Be like you were your rookie year. Will Reichard. I just feel like I have so much faith in this kicker, man. I want to see him kick, Don't go for it. Let's see Will Reichard put it through. I was hoping they were going to try to kick a 60-yarder with him middle of that game after a Nick Mullins sack. I think it was Nick Mullins. All right, let's go. Make sure you hit subscribe. Leave a comment. If you're subscribed and leave a comment, you may win a autographed jersey of Justin Jefferson when I hit 3,000 subscribers. Skull Vikes. Cue the music.
You prepare as thoroughly as you can. The guys play their asses off.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
Listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
That you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. If they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.